Hey, hi, Abhi. How are you?
Yeah, hey Nilesh, not too bad. I can only hear the music right now.
Yeah, yeah. It's been a while. A lot of things, a lot of work, a lot of stuff happening. So, hi everyone. This is Nilesh, and today we have the founder of Rytr, Abhi, with us. Thanks, Abhi, for joining. And based on the community feedback we have received, there is a lot of excitement about Rytr. I have to say, out of all the AI tools which I have used, I used Rytr very briefly for about you know a couple of different copies, and I was very impressed with what I saw. So, based on that, we are going to chat with Abhi, understand what Rytr does, and what the future holds, and answer any questions. And Abhi, I think you mentioned. Why don't you give an introduction, and then we'll continue? Yes, please go ahead. Yeah.
Sure. Well, first of all, thanks for having us here, Nilesh. Appreciate that. And on a Friday evening, this is probably not on everybody's agenda, but still, I hope there is enough people who are excited and interested about yet another AI writer demo. So hopefully, folks can learn a bit about writer, and happy to answer any questions. That they might have. So in terms of my background, I'm a BC of writer, and on a wider mission to actually help entrepreneurs make the world a better place and build successful businesses. Over the last 13 years, I have combined experience across consulting, venture capital, and startups in US, Europe, and Asia, wherein I've helped build and scale multiple products that have touched six figure in ARR and millions of users. I've also led large product and growth teams, mentored over 100 founders on product growth, sales, fundraising, hiring, and more. And also backed by some leading VCs like 500 Startups, Google Sequoia Angels, Entrepreneur First, Purvi Capital, and more. So yeah, so mostly a startup guy, who's passionate about building delightful products, that can really give people the joy of whatever task they're trying to achieve. So yeah, that's a bit about me. Happy to talk a bit about Writer if you want, how we got started and all.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll do a mix of things. We'll talk a little bit about Writer. If you want to share your screen, you're most welcome to do that, and we'll
Sure.
take you to the next scene. But we will also answer some queries. There is a comment by a user, and I think it's best to address it right away. He's saying, okay, so he's saying, beware of writer management. They can cancel your account anytime, not because of your mistake, but their systems. So I think this comment is from Parvesh Mittal. Parvesh, I'm not sure exactly what you mean, uh, but typically you don't see that. There are two sides of the story. Always, of course, we are a very large LTD community. We have talked to many founders. If there are issues, we can help you resolve it. Having said that, if there is anything specific which you want to talk about, please let us know. But Abhi, do you can you relate to what he's talking about here?
I mean, I'll have to obviously get back to the sort of issue. I'm not sure exactly what this person is referring to. Pravesh, I'm, first of all, great start to the demo. And this is probably the last thing I expected, but appreciate you raising the concern, and we will for sure look at it. If there is anything, please reach out to me directly, be at writer.me. Only thing I can say is that we handle thousands of requests any given week, right? And rarely, if at all, we've had any cases of folks complaining about maybe the account issues or any sort of malpractices. So if you've had this problem, please do reach out to us. I would say you are unfortunately among that 0.001% of maybe our members who face this issue. But regardless of that, I'll be more than happy to personally look into this and see what went wrong where.
Yeah, perfect, perfect. Thank you, Abhi. And
I just
things
noticed
can
Joe is also
sometimes.
there. I just wanted to, sorry, Nilesh, before we, Joe is one of our, I would say, early cheerleaders and supporters. So I just wanted to say, thanks, and give a shout out, in front of everyone. So thank you, Joe. Appreciate your support.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Joe deserves all the shouts outs. I mean, we did a 3 hour Facebook live stream yesterday, and we finished at around 12:30. And I think Joe was responding to messages and all those things till very late.
He's a rock
So
star.
I'm not sure how he's feeling today, but I hope he's good. And we're going to probably do another live stream today. So,
All right. Yeah,
yeah.
I hope
And
this demo will energize him up, hopefully.
yes, yes, it was a lot of great knowledge sharing by Joe yesterday, and himself
Sure.
is so very knowledgeable and humble. So I really appreciate all the things he talks about, and his friendship. So yeah.
Yep.
So okay, some good comments as well. So good morning. And Abhi, I think you mentioned you're going to do some giveaways at the end of the. I mean, we finished the live stream, and then based on the engagement, we'll do some draws and do some giveaways for writers as well, right? So, yeah.
Sure. Anything that works for writers. Happy to do that. Um, you
Okay.
want to
So
take the questions now, or you want to follow a certain format, Nilesh?
yeah, yeah. So what we'll do is we will move on to you sharing your screen. You talk about a writer a little bit, and let's keep it interactive. So instead of saving all the questions for the last, what we'll
Yeah,
do is we'll handle the questions as they come, so that it's relevant to the topic which you're talking about in a way, right? Do you see a
sure.
screen share option?
Yes, I do. I'll just turn it on. And just one thing I wanted to address, there's a pretty relevant question, and I think it's better to answer it before we jump into the demo. It's about, what differentiates writer and why did we start it in the first place. So just on that, so of course, as an entrepreneur, I've always had content generation issues, and I found it to be a pain in the ass, to be honest. And while dabbling with GPT-3 for another chatbot project, we realized that the potential of this technology is huge. So we looked around and evaluated some existing writing tools, but found the experience a little frustrating, to be honest. The UX felt a little overwhelming, and the quality of content was subpar in most cases. So at that point, we decided, let's give the market what it deserved, an intuitive AI writing assistant, that offered really high quality, let's say, best outputs. So although late to the party, we launched back in April this year, but since then we haven't looked back. With a small but very passionate team, we have grown to almost 50,000 plus writers globally now, with close to perfect ratings everywhere, and now recognized as the market one of the market leaders, I would say, in this space, with even bigger plans for the future.
Oh, you answered some of my questions, and somebody stole my question there, but that's okay. Uh, but
We can always answer it again, not an issue.
so that's totally fine. Good job there. A good question for sure. So that
Hmm.
leads me to some follow up questions. But why don't you share your screen, Abhi, and
Yeah,
then we can.
let's do that. Okay, so cool. So I can share my screen now. Are you guys able to see,
Yeah,
Nilesh?
yeah. I'm going to change it to a different scene here.
Yeah.
1 second. There you go.
Okay, cool. So I think, rather than sort of boring you to death, the features and the capabilities of Writer, I'll just walk you through. the actual demo, and feel free to sort of ask any questions that might pop in your head while we are going through. So I've prepared some demo examples which will hopefully showcase the breadth and depth of the platform, and what sort of capabilities you might get on Writer. So yeah, so let's run through one by one. So let's blog is obviously one of the most popular use cases. So everything on Writer is basically a one-page interface, as you might have seen. There is a generator on the left side, and there is an editor on the long form editor on the right hand side. So we support around 30 languages, 30 plus actually. All the major languages are supported on Writer at the moment. And unlike, I would say, majority of the other tools, we have our own proprietary layer of language sort of AI technology that we use to provide outputs in different languages. So it's not just throwing the input at OpenAI and then just getting the output back in that particular language, and then spitting it out on the screen. There is a lot of processing we do at the input level as well as the output level to show you the results in that particular language. In terms of tone, this is again one of the quality features that we have. There is around 30 plus tones that we support, ranging from really casual, funny, and joyful ones to some formal, kind of use cases like convincing, passionate, inspirational, and all. And these do have a major role in the quality of outputs that you get. And once you change the tone, you can easily see the difference in the quality of content. And then the use cases themselves, like I said, we have around 30 plus use cases now. All the popular ones are covered, and then there is at least 5 or 6 more in the pipeline that we are working on. But yes, blog writing, copywriting frameworks, email ads, landing pages, product description, all the sort of main ones we cover. And those are pretty well, I would say, trained as well as part of the writing process. So coming to the demo, so let's take one example, which is blog. So the way process works on Writer is slightly different to maybe some of the other long form editors or writers that you've seen. So it all starts with keywords, right? So I've just tried to customize it according to this group maybe. So I've used one particular keyword, let's say how to run SaaS lifetime deals. So you can choose any keywords, any phrases, and then simply put them here in the text area, and then decide on the number of variants that you want to pick. So let's say we'll go with the 2 variants, and this will essentially give you the blog idea and outline, which is more like a content brief, if you can sort of visualize. So it'll give you some subheadings, it'll give you a title of the blog, and then of course you can mix and match. Few tips I wanted to give you here is, one, try to follow the sort of placeholder text to get the best quality output, because there is a certain sort of context, I would say, that the AI gets if you use that particular format, and that would definitely help the quality of results when the AI reads that particular format. And then on top of it, obviously there is a restriction on characters. Some of it is to comply with the OpenAI guidelines, but also we have realized, looking at the data, that these are most likely the ideal limits for different use cases. So anyway, so once you input the keywords and phrases, just click write for me, and then AI will pretty much do most of the work for you and give you 2 variants with the blog title and some of the subheadings as part of it. So you can see I got 2 blog ideas: how to create a lifetime deal strategy that your customers will love. And here is another one: the ultimate guide to keeping customers satisfied with lifetime deals. And this is obviously looking at the keywords and key phrases that you provided at the beginning. So here you have some subheadings that you can use to now start crafting your blog. So just one thing I wanted to add here is, and this is pretty important for folks who are primarily using for long form writing and SEO kind of optimization, content optimization perspective. So unlike again, a lot of other tools which you are using, or you are using their integrations on other sort of AI writing platforms. We have a different take on those things. We want to remove the friction where you have to do a lot of research, figuring out the keyword density, keyword clustering, and also topical sort of modeling, and then actually give you the subheadings which are off the shelves, kind of optimized based on those keywords. So we have more sort of features in the pipeline around SEO, but just wanted to give you a flavor of how SEO optimized content will work on Writer. So yes, it will just take a step further than what you're used to, and give you the direct sort of keyword level SEO, correlational SEO kind of stuff in the content brief itself. So once you've generated these two sort of outlines, you can then mix and match. So let's say I'm pretty happy with these kind of subheadings. I can probably copy them and sort of merge them here, or I can probably use some of these ones and bring them here and sort of keep mixing and matching till I'm happy. So once you're happy with the outline, you can just select any particular text, and then simply click paragraph operation. So we have multiple editing operations that you can use, and I'll touch upon them briefly as we go through the editing workflow. And this is what makes Writer so powerful, because everything is like on the face, right? You don't have to leave the context at any moment. You can just focus on the task in hand, and everything just flows seamlessly within that context. So once you've generated the outline, you're happy with the sort of subtopics, you can simply select each heading and then click paragraph option, and hopefully the AI will give you some reasonably good content, which is kind of an intro for this particular heading. So here we got something back from AI. So these deals provide customers a sense of security and make them like, yeah, so it's not that bad. I'm sure you can keep tweaking, you can keep changing the outputs. And one thing here is, we restrict the number of characters that you have to select. Again, this is to make sure there is enough context which is being sent to the AI to get reasonable output back. So you have to select between 30 to 300 characters to enable the editing operations. And it also helps for you to kind of use these headings as goalposts, let's say. So you can always mold and tweak each subheading, and then make sure that the content at that particular sort of section is very, very customized. So unlike again using I would say write for me kind of interfaces, where the AI just keeps writing, we have found out, again, we have experimented and we have found out that the content that is provided through that sort of experience is not always optimized. And you end up spending more time actually tweaking those outputs, versus if you had tweaked the section headings and used them as goalposts at this moment, you would get much more, you're likely to get much more, I would say, relevant output, and the time spent in editing would be far less, compared to the other option. So this is what we have seen working well for us and our writers, and we have experienced both sides of the coin, and we have actually decided that this experience suits the flow better. So once you're there, let's say, what is lifetime deal for SaaS, you can tweak it and make it a bit more customized, and then you can run the paragraph operation, and now you will see the quality of results even much more customized to the sort of keyword in hand. So you can see software mentioned here, you can see lifetime mentioned here, you can see another software as a keyword. So all these things become much more, I would say, contextualized with this kind of flow. And like I said, there'll be more keywords and all that correlational SEO stuff which will be coming as part of the experience. um, I just want to show you some other sort of operations that are there. So like you
before
can
we
always,
before
sorry,
we get into that, Abhi, can we just have a address a few quick questions we have here? Will there be a training of the AI system in the future? So that's a question from Ruhani. So, uh, I mean, can the users give an input to your AI, like for any specific?
I mean, so there are two things. Like one is input at let's say the model level, right, which is what OpenAI is supposed to do, and they're already doing that. So the data is already in the corpus till October 2019, I guess, and it's due for an update. So that is one level where, of course, the AI will learn more recent stuff from 2019 onwards. If you're talking about training at our level, writer level, so we already have some training data that we use to customize the inputs and outputs. And we might actually provide an option going forward where it can customize based on the writing style of the user as well. So let's say you have a particular way of writing, particular tone of writing, particular let's say I would say style, brand style. All those things can potentially be part of the sort of I would say personalized experience for that end user.
Okay. Okay. Can you show us an Instagram or YouTube use case for descriptions or posts? That's a question
Sure.
from Corey Sanders. Thanks, Corey, for
Yep.
joining in. Corey has a live stream, a live show as well. So please check his, YouTube. I believe you have a YouTube channel. Please check it out. Yeah. Go ahead.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So, I mean, I think I'll come to that actually. So, let me just quickly walk through, and one of those use cases will be covered as part of the demo. So, yeah. So, anyways, just wanted to show you this thing and maybe a couple of editing features, and then we can move on to like other examples. So, we have like these editing operations like reword and improve, which basically, as you saw, it changes the content, tone and readability while keeping the same meaning and sense intact. So it just improved and made it a little bit more I would say self-explanatory, and maybe like explain it to a 5-year old kind of language and tone. Again, you can run rephrase or reword operation on the text, and it will completely change, for example, as you saw, the original text while keeping the same meaning. So there are multiple operations like that you can pick from the editing menu, and then you can expand, which will basically insert some words, shorten a particular text. You can append if an output is not complete, and then finally you can also do plagiarism check, which is again one of the unique features that we have. So by doing this, you can compare it against any existing content in the web and make sure that it is completely authentic and unique. So as you can see, there was no plagiarism which was detected. So this is how you can keep writing in your long form content, blogs, essays, articles, anything pretty much. And it's all a matter of just customizing your headings, making it more contextual, and just running paragraph operations and using your other editing operations which are provided. The second thing I want to show you, and I think let's take up the social media use case Corey is asking.
Yes.
So maybe we can do a video I guess. Let's say video idea, would that be, or description, or any particular one you want,
Sure, sure. YouTube
Nilesh?
use case. Yeah, it's fine. YouTube. Yeah.
Right. Okay, so let's take video description as an example.
Yes. Yes.
So right, so let's say there is a video that you want to publish, and you want some like a little tiny description about it,
Yes.
short description, which can go along with that video. So let's say we are publishing this video, uh, you know, a demo of an AI writing assistant with cool features, let's say. And let's see what the AI does for you here. And again, let's use some of the tones which are a little different. So maybe we can use any particular one you fancy, Nilesh?
Um,
So we can.
Make it like more funnier side, maybe. Oh no, demo of AI writing features. No, maybe not funnier. But I actually saw a couple of
Okay.
AI writing demos. I'm not going to say who, but somebody who's charging a ridiculous amount of money for subscription. And the first demo they give, if you look at their copy, it's actually pretty hilarious. If
Right.
you look at it, it's not meant to be funny, but it is. But anyway, we can
Right.
stick
So by
to.
default, they are using a funny tone, I guess. But anyways, let's use passionate or something, which
Yeah,
goes well with
yeah,
maybe the
yeah.
video kind of use cases. So yeah, let's, yeah. I mean, of course, title could be improved, but I'm just giving this an example. So now you should get at least a few variants on this particular topic. So yes, I got a short description here. This one looks a little more beefy, so let's read it out. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to implement AI into your blog writing process and use it for coming up with high quality posts. It's like reading my mind. Get rid of writer's block forever with AI. You will see various features of AI, right? And how, yeah, not bad, is it?
Yes.
Right. So that's yeah. So this is one example. Like, hey, you saw
How
AI.
unique it is it? I mean, Abhi, if I may ask you, now you take that example. Now you can generate three variants, right? Like if we do a test, because we want to do a testing around
Sure.
various tools. I mean, it's not just Writer. We are going to, of course, Writer is one of them, and I myself picked up a couple of accounts, just being greedy.
Hmm.
But we want to
You
take.
did well, man. Trust
What's that?
me. You did the right thing. Trust me.
So so we're going to take these accounts. I mean, we're going to get our users, and we want to run an event, right? Like how unique is the content going to be? Say if 100 people
Hmm.
want to generate a copy,
Right.
based on a video title, right? You're generating a description and with three
Hmm.
variants each, right?
Hmm.
That's how unique is it going to be? Have you tested it?
Let's test it out now. I mean, see, like this is the whole point of having this native plagiarism checker.
Yes.
So, if we run it on this particular variant, yeah, it's absolutely 100% authentic and unique. So there is no plagiarism detected, and that's how it will be for, I would say, majority of users. So I would say almost always the content should be unique. There might be some quotes, maybe some facts, maybe some blobs which are probably from some sources, and that's why we have this plagiarism checker in place to actually verify the authenticity. But like I said, uh, in almost all, I would say 99% of cases, we have not detected level of plagiarism which would affect the originality of the content, and then maybe face some penalty from third party platforms. But again, we definitely request writers to use the inbuilt checker as well as their own judgment, while editing and reviewing the content, and then before publishing they must have that check in place, so that they don't get any kind of penalty, just to be on the safer side. Another thing I wanted to touch upon here is, Nilesh, and I wanted to make it very clear, I think, because uh, I think there is a certain philosophical difference we have at a company level, at a product level, versus so many other tools. We don't want to build writer for content factories, right? It's not a tool for people to churn out mindless content, just keep pressing one button, which makes their life easy, to magically generate content on the fly without actually putting any thought or mind behind the quality of it, right? So we
Yeah.
want to encourage that sort of behavior that we believe will create more, I would say, higher quality content, and that's the direction we want to go in, instead of encouraging folks to just mindlessly create thousands of words of poor quality content. The web is already filled with a lot of noise. We just don't want to add to it. So yeah, just wanted to get it out of the way so people can understand where we are going with it, and why we may never have things like a write for me command, for example.
Got it. Okay.
uh,
SEO add-on will be added on the roadmap. If that's a question for you, Abhi.
yeah, so actually, like I just touched upon it briefly when we were sort of playing around with the use case.
Yeah.
So yes, SEO add-on, it may be invisible actually to the end user. You may not even need a separate add-on as such, like a surfer or maybe phrase that you're using. So we are trying to, and that's why it's taking a little bit of extra time for us to get it out, because we're trying to build that experience natively, so that you as an end user don't have to worry about keyword research, keyword clustering, looking at competitor sort of links, headings, and then be able to create, optimized content briefs. So the content brief that you see in front of you right now, our vision is that should be optimized, by the AI itself. So you can focus on the quality of content rather than the research part. So that's what we're trying to achieve, and it's obviously a little bit more I mean, actually very advanced than some of the other tools which are there. But hopefully we'll have a workable sort of solution, in a short while.
Okay. Okay, and then there is a request. Can we have a little bit more number of characters when we are feeding information? For example, block section writing or description on the left side for a few type of content writing such as meta description and such. So I think the who is that? They want to increase the limit in terms of the characters you are allowing on the for the input side.
Yeah, that's a good question, and we've received that request a number of times, and yes, there is some limitation from OpenAI side on how much we can allow as input, but there is also our own thinking around it, because we have seen the moment you increase the sort of length, uh, it can go haywire. I mean, a lot of people actually just copy paste stuff. So I'll give you an example. So let's say when people talk about product description, so there is a product name field, and then there is a product description field, and then you can generate ads or maybe bullet points and so many other use cases, for example. Now what happens is product name is restricted to, I think, around 25-30 characters, right? And that is more or less actually enough to cater to 99% of product names out there. What people do is they copy whatever uh, is written on, let's say, Amazon product page, which is not necessarily the brand name or product name. It has like some XYZ, man shave lotion for healthy skin, something like that. That is not a product name.
Yes.
So that will, if we give that much input limits, then people might end up putting some content which will not be ideal, I would say, or optimal for the AI to process, and you will not get good quality results. So there is that, to it. But that said, there is definitely some of the use cases where we are thinking of bumping up the limits, so people can put in more stuff. But again, we want to review it and make sure it won't create unnecessary complications for majority of the users who are very happy with the current limits.
Okay. Okay. Great. And so we have hi Ones. How are you? API. So I don't believe the APIs or any type of webhooks or any type of integrations are allowed. Am I? Am I? Is that
Yeah, I mean, I think yes, it's definitely not something that you can just build out and then run with it. You have to take permissions from OpenAI, and obviously they are going to be a little strict about building an OpenAI on top of an API on top of an API, right?
yeah?
So that is definitely there, but there are cases that exist. Uh, but again, we are it's definitely on the roadmap, but we have not there are other priorities to get through first, so we have not picked it up yet.
Okay. Okay. So in the context of like explaining for our users, right? Like how is a writer different from some of the you know more some of the other GPT-3 based kind of tools, right? Can you
Yeah,
elaborate a bit? Yeah.
yeah, for sure. I think that question pops up, and that is a pretty natural question to pop up in anyone's head, to be honest. With so much noise out there, to be frank, in this community, AI writing community, everywhere on the web. So here is I just want to clarify it, once and for all. So we want to be the best among the lot. We probably are to some extent, but we want to do a lot more. And our vision is to become the de facto, kind of all-in-one writing assistant, that will work across your whole writing flow wherever you are on the web. So think of it like Grammarly, but 10x better and more value adding to your sort of writing workflow. So in short term, we want to focus purely on quality, quality, and quality. So high quality, well trained outputs that are underpinned by scientific copywriting formulas and data. Second thing is adding more and more use cases. So like we already have like 30 plus, but there is so many other unique use cases we have in the pipeline, like knowledge bases, bulk generations, URL specific content, any many more, which we want to add and make it even more versatile. Then third is the seamless one page playful interface that you've just seen, with a very neat editing experience, which we believe is probably the best out there right now. And not just us, actually, thousands of people have echoed the same sentiment and views on other sort of websites as well. um, and then things like auto insert images, these are sort of things which we want to work on in the short term, which will take our experience at least 2x or 3x further than what you see today. So, and that is one of the reasons why people have loved us. It's the quality of the output and the simplicity of the product, right? And we want to double down on those things. Long term, we have obviously extension, which we recently released, and we are working pretty extensively on making it even better. So extension and plugin kind of experience, so it works anywhere you are. And of course, it's not a easy kind of exercise to actually make a seamless extension experience, but we are very very sort of focused on getting that part right, so that whether you're on WordPress, email, social media, doesn't matter, it should work like a charm, and we are definitely working towards that. Then second is our focus on team accounts and larger features like workflow and organization management, with brand styling, in-depth analytics, and so many other things that we have in the pipeline that we want to work on. So yeah, so what you see right now is obviously a glimpse. There is doubling down on that quality, as well as seamless interface with all the basic features you would expect. But then long term, we have even bigger vision. So we don't compare ourselves with the market right now. We
Yes.
are thinking proxy would be Grammarly, to be honest. We want to see ourselves at that level.
Yes. Now with Grammarly, of course, they have done a phenomenal job when it comes to the market share, like the accuracy of Grammarly, the
Right.
suggestions, and it's so like the whole plagiarism checker and all those things, right? I mean, it is like has been the de facto standard for a lot of
Right.
folks, right?
Correct.
So like of course there is a lot of work which goes behind it. You need those kind of domain experts, language experts. You're supporting so many different languages, right? So how are you handling all that, right? Like what does your team uh, like is made of, and are there like language experts, domain experts, like to train the AI model? How does it all work? Can you talk a little bit about behind the scenes?
Yeah, I mean, without like, yeah. So first of all, like, we are a very small team. There is just three of us. It may be a surprise, and a lot of people may not believe it's true, but it is true. There's just three of us. We have a CTO Atul, who looks after all the tech side, and then we have a rock star, marketing ninja Kriti. She works on marketing and customer success side, and then there is me. So that's it. So there's definitely a lot. Our hands are full all the time, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
Um, and like I say, we are more focused on quality, as opposed to spreading ourselves too thin and working on too many things at any given point, and just diluting the overall experience. So that's not, we have intentionally stayed lean, so that we can focus on things that matter at any given point. So it's one feature at a time, one use case at a time, one sort of customer at a time, let's put it that way. So we can actually nail down that experience, which will really set us apart. There are players who have like at least 4x 5x size of our team. But without commenting on the efficiency, I'll just say that we are doing fairly well, given the size we have. There is definitely a lot of things we have in the pipeline, and we are working on finding solutions which can scale well. So there is not much manual involvement. We never work on solutions which require a lot of manual labor or sort of involvement. It's mostly automated, and we try to find ways, creative ways, I would say, that can scale the processes and system in the background.
Okay. Okay, great. I mean, yeah, with the lean team you have achieved so far, a phenomenal, in terms of success, in terms of your product. I've used like, Headline and which got acquired, and Shortly AI, which got acquired. I mean, with the accuracy and the success you are having, right? When it comes to acquisition, like somebody says, "Hey, we want to acquire you," right? What happens to all these accounts which you have, like all the lifetime deals and everything which you have sold? Like, how would you take care of that earlier after end customer?
Yeah, that's, yeah, good question. I mean, first of all, as for the record, there is no there is no such intent or plans, or anything like that on the horizon. Um, so just wanted to get it out of the way so people can be rest assured that you are in safe hands as of today. And it's the people who are running the show that you should have faith in, right? Regardless of what the future holds, maybe 1 year, 2 years, 5 years. I would say never, never, never. It's probably, I will always stay away from that word, because you never know what will happen 5 years, 10 years down the line, for example. But one thing I can assure you with 100% confidence is, regardless of what happens, your interests will be looked after. The commitments, the promises, the assurances we have given you, they will be looked after. So we are with you, and we want to make sure that your accounts, your content, your data, your pricing, stick to what you've been promised, as much as we can, right? So yeah, so that much, you can have faith in us. And there are professionals behind the scene who have built startups before, scaled them to larger figures and the numbers. And yeah, so your interests are definitely at the top of our mind. So, and trust me, it's a long term game. We are not doing this as a one trick pony. There is definitely a long term agenda we have, so we don't want to screw up with you guys.
Very good. Very good. Thanks, Abhi, for taking care of that and answering that question. That's a good answer for sure. That's what people want to hear, right? So when we try the variants, does this go against our word limit? So depending on the number of variants, the word limit goes against. I mean, the number of variants you generate, it will count towards your usage. Is that
Right. So the easiest way to think about it is, whenever you do any operation, write for me or pick any editing operation, it just consumes your credits. That's it. If you do manual editing, if you do any copy paste stuff from somewhere else, that doesn't consume credits.
yes?
So more variants means more credits consumed. Yeah.
Yeah, Abhi, like when I was using Headline, and of course they got acquired, and not happy about that. But one of the feature which they had, which was a very interesting feature, and that was, sometimes the AI can spin out a copy which is not very relevant, right? In that case, they had a system where they would allow you to refund the credits. So you could click a button, you get the credits back, right? And you generate another copy of that. So they would allow you a certain percentage of credits to be, you know, to be reversed, and you could use them against in your plan. Uh, but that is because sometimes it really would generate a copy which had no relevance to what you're trying to do.
Right.
Now, my usage of Writer has been very limited. However, uh, in your, who would better be the better person than yourself? In your case, whenever you have generated, has this ever happened? And do you think there is a room for such a feature?
Yeah, so I think, yeah, so two things. Yes, it happens, definitely happens. I think the AI is not perfect, the product is not perfect. There will be cases when you get incomplete, gibberish, or completely nonsensical output from the AI. But again, we end up paying for those units for sure, to OpenAI. But the second thing is, like, there is already a system in place actually, so it's not as automated as you explained, but we allow folks to report the quality of each and every output through the history tab. If
Yes.
you see here, yeah, I think you yeah so if you go to the history tab, you will see all the generations listed here, and you can click on any, and then just click report poor output quality, and it will just notify us in the background, for example. And then we will review if there is definitely a persistent issue which is consuming credits for end user. There have been cases where we have bumped up some credits to make up for that loss, but it's
Very
not
good.
automated.
No, that's good. This does the job. So very good. Yeah, that's very good.
Sure.
Okay. Also, the word we feed in on the left side, right? Does it also get counted along the credit usage?
So you're talking about input text, right? Yeah.
No. Yeah. Input. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so for now, yes, it does. And the reason for that is simple, because we actually process that as well
Okay.
when we send it to OpenAI. So we get charged for those units. But don't worry, I mean, we are working on ways to optimize it so your quota has more mileage going forward.
Okay. I I have not been able to use the Chrome extension. I'm hoping it works as rewriter is the in the future along with current features. I'm hoping it
Yeah, I
works as
mean,
rewriter in the future. Yeah.
right. So we are aware of the issues. See, extension is actually in beta at the moment, and we announced it just last week, I think, publicly. But still in beta, and there is a lot of compatibility issues, with the third-party websites and apps. Building an extension which works like a charm, everywhere. It's not an easy fate to achieve actually, but we are working hard to make it happen. And apologies in advance, while we figure out any kinks in the experience and address them. But trust me, that is one of our top priorities right now. We already have thousands of users actually using extension. So this is definitely one of the features that we are improving every day. So hopefully it will be much better next time around when you try it.
Okay. Okay. So we'll take this question and then maybe move on to more features.
Sure.
Does Writer have a model that can answer basic facts, science questions like how rain occurs or how cloud forms? How clouds form? Yeah.
That's a good question actually. I mean, if you're asking about answering, then I think answering is pretty straightforward. Like, I don't know if you're talking about generating answers, right? So generating questions and answer is definitely something we have on the agenda, on the roadmap, and we are going to add that as a use case. But if you're talking about like generally answering as a chatbot, or maybe then that is not kind of the experience we provide, right? If you're talking about generating FAQs, yes, that is something we have on the agenda.
Okay. Okay. Now there is a few more comments here, but we can. Why don't we move to some of the other things which you want to show us, Abhi?
Sure.
And yeah.
Yeah, so just let's run through a couple of use cases, and then I think features. I think I've already explained the use cases. I just want to demo maybe a couple of examples. So like this email one, the most important was the blog one, and I wanted to show you the long form writing experience, which I hope I did. But let's try the email one for now. So here, this is a thank you email, Nilesh. I might send you actually after this demo.
Okay.
uh, so, so let's say I just put in some key points about the webinar. It was great show. I hope audience found value in it, and I choose a particular tone. Let's say compassionate, and then just click write for me. So hopefully I should get a few variants. Um, and that will make me look good when I send you the email, and you will think this was personalized. So anyway, so this is, yeah, so I got like a couple of variants. So I wanted to drop you a note and say thanks for having me on the show. I had a great time, and I think that the audience found it helpful. If you need any help in webinars in future, please get in touch. So not bad. Actually, I
Is
might copy paste it.
is
That's
that
good.
how you have been sending me emails so far?
Uh, I wish I had tried that, but not at the moment. But yes, once our extension is like right up there, then yes, I might be actually doing that a lot more frequently than I am today. But yes, so this is what you would get, through email use case. Actually, all of the variants, as you can see, are pretty solid, I would say, and you can simply copy paste and just change the name of the recipient, and you're good to go. So yeah, that this is the email use case, and of course you can expand on the key points. You can add anything that you want. um, Another one I wanted to show you was, let's try to create an ad for the SaasTribe, or maybe this lifetime deal community. So I tried to customize the use cases for you, Nilesh, and the community.
Yeah.
So hopefully folks can get a better idea.
Yes.
So let's try to generate an ad for Miss Ltd, largest community of like-minded marketers and entrepreneurs looking to grow their business. Does that sound like a fair description?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
hope it does. And let's try to create a couple of ads, and let's see how it goes. There you go. So you one-stop shop for lifetime of discounts. Okay, that's the headline of the ad. The
Yeah.
community of
Yeah.
with deals for lifetime. Oh, okay, not bad. So yeah, so as you can see, like we generated like a few customized ads just
Yes.
on the product name and description. And I just wanted to focus on the quality of content here for a second, because this is like off the shelf stuff that you can probably use. Of course, you can tweak it with editing operations and all.
Yes.
And by the way, we have this magic command, which is like any your wish AI's command kind of a thing. So you can send any request to AI, and I can show you one demo for that as well later on. But yes, so as you can see, ads are generated through use case, fairly handy, and you can simply use them. We are trying to customize them by platform as well going forward. So you will see Google, LinkedIn, more custom kind of ads, and hopefully images also, creatives also as part of the experience. So you don't have to generate ads or sorry, images or gifs for your creatives. So the next one I want to show you was copywriting formulas. Again, fairly popular one. I'll use your description again and try to generate AIDA kind of copywriting example.
Okay. Okay.
So here you go. So get lifetime deals from exclusive community of experts is a place where you can find latest deal. So yeah, so find the perfect software now at amazing pricing. So this is like a copy. Again, you can use pretty much straight away for your use case. One last thing I think, then probably again we can take up questions, is uh, you know this website landing page use case. So let's say if you want to launch a new product or maybe a new feature, and you have a dedicated landing page for that, you can just simply um, add the description about that particular page, and send some features. So again, I'm using your community as an example. Let's say you want to build a website for your community.
Yes.
uh, I just give some description: buy, sell, and trade lifetime deals in the largest martech community. And then I give some features here, which I thought are again pulled from your Facebook description.
Yes.
Hope it makes sense. So some of the
Yeah.
core features, and that's it. And then I will just produce a couple of variants and see how it goes. Hopefully it should give like a proper hero kind of heading, as well as some features that, yes, oh, there you go. So this one is actually talking about writer, but I think yes, this one is more about more relevant to you, lifetime deals. So you get some subsection heading, then you have some description here, and here also actually you got some features which you can use, lifetime software deals, and it talks about your copy. So that covers pretty much all the professional use cases, Nilesh. One last one is a creative use case I wanted to show, just to showcase the breadth of and depth of kind of uh, uh, copywriting use cases. So this is a
Yes.
story plot kind of generator. So you can generate plots for different titles and stories. So here, one day I woke up as as Nilesh, moderating one of the largest lifetime deals community on the planet, let's say.
Yeah.
So any sort of fictional or non-fictional kind of plot outline you can provide, and now hopefully, the AI will generate some examples of short stories or scripts that you can use to expand on, and you can keep adding more and more. So here you go. So let's see, what did you get? So Nilesh is a software engineer with profession, works one of the largest e-commerce. He created a lifetime deal community, one of the best communities in the world. He has a team creators who has always been handling policies. So yeah, so I mean, it tried to generate some story plot which is relevant to this particular sort of plot outline that you gave.
Yeah.
So this one looks interesting. Um, you know, suddenly a voice welcomes you, very best deals
Interesting.
community for life. So anyways, like this is a little bit and we have more creative writing use cases coming up.
Yes.
um, so there is a songwriting also that you can use, song lyrics, and then there are more actually some other personal ones also that we have in the store.
Very cool. So the quality of input you provide really makes a difference in terms of the output you're going to get.
Uh, for sure. I mean, like any most of the things in life, garbage in, garbage out. So, so
Yes.
yes, if you provide, and like I said, first thing, the tips I wanted to share were follow the placeholder text as much as possible. So if you look around, in every sort of use case, you will get some little caption to give you an idea and some placeholder text, which kind of points you in the direction of what kind of things you should input in that box, the character limit. And in our resource guide as well, I wanted to show you there is an extensive section where we talk about useful tips and practices while generating content. So placeholder text, follow the limit, avoid incomplete or strange phrases like this one for example, or the one ending in some weird character, or just one word things. So try to provide a bit more relevant contextual input to the AI. And the one thing which we have, which is a very subtle but important difference, you don't have to provide a lot of stuff. A lot of other platforms encourage you to keep writing maybe 400 characters, 500 characters input. You will not, none of our use cases actually permit you to write that much, because we feel that is redundant and like a cognitive overload for a lot of people to just get started. If they have to write 500 characters to get started, they might as well write it themselves in the first place. So our job is to provide minimal but relevant input, and
Yes.
try to guide the user in that direction.
Makes sense. Absolutely. There is an interesting question for you here, Abhi. When other LTDs were offering a good amount of words in monthly limits in Appsumo, and some also offered unlimited words, why did you choose to offer just 50K characters in the in this high demanding LTD community? I'm asking this as people mostly deny writer in the community just because of the lower limits. So it's not like you're giving a full like unlimited kind of thing. You have to buy an LTD plan, and if you want to use unlimited, I believe there is an add-on which users can purchase, right? So
Right.
few things. If you can answer that comment which we had earlier, and then also what are the benefits of the add-on, right? Like why should users go for it? Yeah.
Yeah, no, and that's a great question. And we keep getting that time and again. Almost every second day we have like at least one or two people asking, why only 50K? And this has been same from day one actually, when we launched back in April. So that was a pretty strategic decision, and we stuck to our guns. And and I'm glad we did, because it has worked out well for the customers, the writers, the sumo links who have tried our deal, and for us as well. And just wanted to share some facts here, not like some fluff which we have made up. So the usage pattern that we have suggests that 50K is actually a good enough limit for majority of the lightweight users, and it is meant to be a lightweight plan. There is the concern is a little overstated. More than around 80%, I would say, of sumo links who bought the deal have burned less than 25,000, which is just 50% of their quota in any given month. So there is that. So I think it's more of a psychological thing, that just because others are offering unlimited, maybe you should also follow the same direction. And to be honest, with high quality output and control over generations, these limits go a long way. Even if you use the tool for, let's say, assume a hypothetical scenario, for 2 years, you will end up paying just $1.50 per month for around 10,000 words that you're generating in return. So it's a pretty good value for money deal. And to be frank with you, we don't think offering unlimited deals when there is such a big dependency on third parties, it's prudent or sustainable. And a lot of people are kind of complaining now the quality is bad. Maybe other folks are switching to lower engines or maybe lower quality AI outputs. And there are some actually who are charging exorbitant monthly fee, as everybody knows. But we believe that the pricing model we have for now works for our customers and gives us enough room to keep innovating and adding improvements to the experience. It's and that's just on the fact side and what others are doing. Another thing I wanted to mention from the customer side is I don't think it's prudent to go for lifetime deals, unlimited one-off plans, because there is then limited to no incentive left for the developers or teams to actually improve the product, for example, or improve it with the same intensity, when we know there is like thousands of customers joining Rytr every day, becoming paid members, subscribers, right? We have every incentive in the world to make sure that we keep improving the experience, right? We wake up every day making sure that the experience is better than what it was yesterday. So I think that kind of push motivation and can only happen when there is a sustainable MRR, for the team and for the company. And I think it's in best interest for everyone, not just us, but for the end users as well.
So when you buy the LTD, let's say I upgrade for a year for unlimited, you offer that as well. If I decide to cancel my subscription for the unlimited later on, I can still get to keep my LTD plan, correct?
Right, absolutely. Yes.
Do you recommend a minimum of two variants from your experience for every sort of copy you're generating?
It depends on the use case actually, and again, this is something we have done that guess, hard work for you, so you don't have to guess it. Each use case, when you select, there is automatically a value which is picked for you by default. In some use cases, you will see three. In some use cases, you might see one. Or some, two. So we know which use cases might require more outputs to give you the sort of ideas or the copies that you're looking for. But in those and other use cases, we have restricted it to one because we feel that one itself will be good enough for you, and there is no point cluttering your editor with many outputs, because that is another thing which people admire. Because it's easy when you have the luxury of writing content. You just press a button and it keeps generating things for you. But what they don't realize is it clutters the actual interface, right? And there is so much content that you have to read and review, and you risk skipping a lot of golden nuggets which are part of that, let's say, one variant. So it's good to actually generate once, review that output, don't like it, generate more, mix and match. So that is a much better strategy rather than generating, let's say, 5 or 10 different variants at any given point.
Okay. Okay. Has Conversion.ai ever approached you for acquisition? Cool.
uh, no, no, not at all. I don't think they even know we exist.
I'm pretty sure they know. They have acquired pretty much everybody who was really good at what they were, I mean, so I'm
I,
sure they're
I,
going to
I,
come and ask you
I
at
just
some
hope,
stage.
right. I just hope it doesn't get other way around.
Yes. Hey, if that happens, it's good, right? Then if you acquire a company, then all the users get benefit for it, right?
Let's see. I think we are not thinking along those lines, but yeah. But
Okay.
like I said, never say never. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And does the credit character limit roll over? So it, like, if you don't use the limit, I think it's a 50,000 words or characters. Does that roll over if you don't use it?
No, it doesn't, unfortunately. So yeah, it is like it resets every month, every monthly cycle. Um, so if you If you have any pending credits from last month, they won't roll over.
Okay. Will there be any special offer for monthly prices for Sumo Links Forever? We did get our first one time 30% off, but what after that normal price like a normal user? Will there be any benefit for grabbing the LTD as an early bird user?
I mean, see, there was a like, um, I would say, once in a lifetime kind of benefit. If you had joined us back in April, or maybe early May, when we had this 50% off and the prices were like super low, and that kind of propelled us, really in the first 1.5 to 2 months. So yes, that was like, I would say, once in a lifetime offer. I don't think, and that is it is fair only to our early supporters, that we keep it exclusive to those guys, because they showed faith in us in early days. They stuck around, they backed us, they provided feedback, and we want to make sure they get the best, the deals, which they signed up for. The second best is obviously time is right now. If you haven't signed up, please do. The 30% off is still, trust me, it's good value for money, and it's a great deal. If you want to upgrade to the premium plan, the prices actually, might be going up soon, as we roll out more features, which are pretty intense from our side and will justify the increase in the price. So yes, as a lifetime user, as a deal buyer, I would say there is you have a lot of incentive to upgrade and avail that 30% off. And trust me, we'll always try to make it sweeter, for the customers who are already there, not the other way around. So we'll try to provide more incentives, better sort of features, access, quota, whatever it is. We'll always try to make it better, not the other way around.
Okay. And I have a question. Amongst you showed multiple languages that you support today. So, what's your user base distribution like in terms of demographics? Like English, obviously, would be your number one language in terms of user base. What are like the two, three like other who's using it? Right, is mostly Spanish speakers or any other language? Can you give an idea?
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. And to be honest with you, we have, there is a lot of popularity among non-English speakers, because writer, the quality of language, output that we provide in different languages is, I would say, probably the best, arguably the best in the market. And that has really allowed a lot of, I would say, non-English speakers to start using AI writers who otherwise hadn't had a chance to try out the capabilities. And we do have, like, I wouldn't be able to give you the precise numbers, like, off the top of my head, but there is a significant percentage of our users who are outside the English speaking, I would say, countries, either in Europe, Southeast Asia, Latin America, as well.
Very good. So Vinit is asking a question: how does one define best in the market? That's Abhi. That's for you. Yes, you know you mentioned like you had one of the best in the market. So Vinit is also a developer. So he just wondering, probably it would help him as well so that he can define himself as best in the market too. He has a good product. Uh, Go ahead. Yes, Abhi.
Yeah, no, I think it's the market will tell you that you're the best. I don't think you have to, you know, um, blow your own trumpet. I think, in our case, like, as you might have seen, noticed, like everybody else has, there is very little noise that we create on social media, in Facebook communities and groups. We intentionally stay away from, a lot of, community dramas, because we believe the product, and the service, the quality of the output, and uh, the support that we provide should speak for itself, rather than, we going out there and really blowing our trumpet. And the results speak for themselves, when, we have, like I said, we were late to the party, but we are probably, right at the front, in the, in the guest list at the moment. So yes, I think that's the market has spoken. It's not me saying those things, and I think there is definitely a lot of room for improvement. If you ask me, I know there are 100 things which we have to work on and improve. So that's my priority. But I think the market, the feedback, the love from customers, the writers, the Sumo links, we have seen time and again, through our support channels, through social media, people like Joe who are spreading a word about us. That shows where we stand in the ranking. So I just take that as a, I would say, proxy of what is probably the best in the market rather than some other metric.
Very good. Vinit, I hope that answers your question. And I owe you something. I need to test something you shared with me. I will get back to you on that. I haven't forgotten. My apologies for the delay. So thanks, Vinit, for tuning in. And we have Aditya Sharma's comment here. He's saying, "Thank you, Nilesh and Abhi, for the session. I dropped my Jarvis subscriptions just to use Rytr. Thank you for building this awesome tool. I regularly suggest this in the community for its unique, mature quality." Certainly, yes. I mean, like I'll be very honest with you. I've been very skeptical about some of these AI tools, but yes, I mean, the two copies which I generated from Writer, I was pleasantly surprised how good they were. So kudos to you for developing it and keep on doing a great job. Yes,
Yeah, thanks to the team, actually. Thanks to Atul, thanks to Kriti, and folks who have been backing us, from day one. I think we, on face value, we're just three team members, but then we have people like Joe, Nilesh, and other folks, who are there acting as our cheerleaders and supporters. So we have an extended team, I would say, of 50,000 if you count everyone. So we'll just let that do the magic for us. And you just made our day, man. I think the demo was successful.
that's good.
The
Hey,
last comment.
one question I have, and there is some confusion I have seen with a writer. I think you chose to sell on possibly multiple marketplaces, maybe Appsumo, maybe somewhere else. And people always get a feeling, hey, which plan should I go with? Now, every marketplace has their own customer base. Most of our users are based on are on Appsumo, but some of them are also aware of Stack Social, right? So, what plan would you suggest? And I think I came across something mentioned on TNW deals as well. So, like, what plan do you prefer? I mean, would you recommend users to go with?
Yeah, I mean, I would, if you ask me, I would suggest write a premium plan directly on our website.
Yes,
That's probably the best value for money.
of course.
Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, but like, see, I think it depends on individual needs. So I don't think there is one best plan. There are folks who are constantly generating, tons of content for different use cases and needs. And for them, I would definitely recommend just skip the deals and directly come and subscribe to the premium plan, because your usage will be pretty heavy. So none of the deal credits will give you that much mileage. But if you are just a lightweight user who has one-off needs, or maybe you don't even know about your usage patterns over the next few months or years to come, it's just best to go with one of those fixed credit deals per month. And you can always use the coupon to actually upgrade to premium if you need to. So yeah, evaluate your usage, I would say, requirements. If you're a lightweight user, for sure go with the AppSumo. I think it's a very good, on a per unit basis, it's a good deal for you. You get much more a mileage for per penny spent, I would say, versus other platforms. But if you are looking at higher, obviously a little higher quota, then go for Stack Social and other limits. But I think anything beyond that, I would just suggest and recommend go with the premium plan. It's much more value for money.
Okay. Okay. Now, in terms of future plans, what can you give us a glimpse around? What are some of the most important features you have coming up? What should you use in the near future? Like, some of the features which you're excited about, kind of thing, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think I briefly touched upon then, when I was talking about how we differentiate. But just to reiterate, I think the short-term focus and the features are around improving the quality even more. So if you think Writer is good now, wait for some more time, and you will see it getting even better. Second is the output, the number of use cases that we want to support. Like, folks have asked about FAQs, about URL specific generations, content domain specific content, those use cases. Then we have images and sort of creatives directly inserting as part of the content, so you save another, I would say, mindless exercise of doing research on the web, maybe pulling out images and gifs or some other sort of creatives from different platforms. So you want to recommend that stuff as part of your writing flow, so AI should be able to do that for you. Then there is SEO features. Again, we have a very different take on it. Instead of integrating and then making you shuffle between different apps, we want to be more native on SEO side, so that you can see the SEO as an invisible kind of helping hand or assistant in the working in the background, and you can only focus on writing the content. So these are like short term things that I'm super excited about. Then of course, in the long term, like I said, extension is one of the major things that we are focused on. It's already there, and we want to, I would say, double down and make it even better, so that it works flawlessly across multiple platforms. Then second is on the team and enterprise sort of account side, adding more feature like organization management, collaboration, analytics, permissions, workflow, all of that stuff, which will help us cater to larger teams and larger companies. And we are already getting tons of traction and interest in those areas. So, and then there are a lot of other things which that I can't reveal right now. Otherwise, the folks would my team would probably won't be happy about it.
Okay.
But
Okay.
yes, there is definitely a lot of exciting things happening. Yes.
And these are all included in all the plans which users have purchased on Appsumo, correct?
Yes, all the features that are there. Our intent is to allow everyone to access all the features, regardless of what plan they're on, even if they're on the free plan. And by the way, we have a generous free plan as well. Unlike limit time limited 2 week trial, 1 week trial, we actually allow you to stay on free forever plan forever if you want. But it gives you very limited credits. But at least you can use Writer every month for basic writing needs if you want to. And even then you can access all the features. So our intent is to give all the features to everyone, regardless of what plan they're on. There might be some limitations on characters or credits depending on the tiers, but features wise, access wise, we want to provide everyone the same.
Got it. Okay. Okay. Perfect. So thanks with that. Thanks a lot, Vinith. Thanks, Dean, for your comments here. Now, how long are you going to be on Appsumo? How long is the campaign running, Abhi?
um, yeah, I mean, it's been running since April, and to be honest, we've had fair bit of success, as people have noticed there. And that too without actually going through the AppSumo Select program, which was our intentional choice not to, because our hands are already full, and instead of getting more traffic and spreading ourselves too thin, and biting more than we can chew, let's say, just want to focus more on improving the experience, and providing, like I said, really the best in class kind of output and experience to the end user. So that is our priority. So we might stay there for a while, but again, we are not doing any heavy kind of inorganic or promotions just to acquire users. I think we are fairly doing fairly okay that side.
Okay. Okay. Perfect.
But for some time, yes, you can expect us to, just to clarify that thing, yes, for the foreseeable, I would say, period, we should be on AppSumo. So
One last question. On the writer
sure.
website, all the copy you have generated, have you been using writer to generate it?
So we recently launched a new website version, as you might have noticed. Some of the writers might have noticed, and I would say 90% of the copy was actually produced through Writer. And of course, I mean, I did a lot of review and editing, but I mean, I extensively used Writer for producing those copies. I can show you some documents as well, which are, but yes, Writer, yeah, all the way.
Fantastic. Okay, I think with that, I think we should end it. We just passed the hour, about 20 minutes past the hour, actually.
Wow.
So, Abhi, I appreciate you coming on and answering all these questions and giving an overview. I mean, Writer is one of those tools which I was very impressed with when I checked it, and I'm I'm very selective when I say things about tools. So yes, Writer, I would highly recommend to check it out and see. And Abhi, I think you have joined our community, right? We would like you to be part of the
Yes,
community
I have.
and be engaged there. And we would like to see a writer as one of the best success stories to come out of all these copy, because there is quite a lot, and you already differentiate. But we want you to rise to the top there, right? So which you already are, but I mean further, go a little bit further for sure. So thank you, Abhi, and all the best. Yeah. Do you want to say anything?
Sure.
Last words
Your,
for all the
yeah,
users? Go ahead.
yeah. With your love and support, Nilesh, and folks like, you know, there are a lot of passionate supporters we have, like our love Joe, in the community who are doing a lot of cheerleading for us. So I just want to take this moment to thank all of those guys, and thank you, Nilesh, for having us. And yes, hopefully, with your support and love, we can keep going onwards and upwards.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Abhi. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a lovely. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in.